guys, it's JP, and I'm in the basement of the antique store that my friend bought, and there are definitely some comics down here. Let's check them out. So you can see there's quite a bit of items in that basement, and from things from magazines to toys to clothing to baseball cards to comic books. There's all kinds of stuff in that basement. And there are 3 other floors in that antique shop. And I've gone through all 3 floors plus the basement. There are many more things to find, but I'm going to say I went through probably 75% of the comics so far. And I had put everything in short boxes. There's probably, 4 or 5 short boxes full of what I think are the better books that I found. There are definitely long boxes filled with comics. They're all dollar books in my opinion, but I had put together some short boxes of what I thought were the best items, and I had already bought some of those from him for a greatly reduced price just for the help I gave him. And I showed those recently, and some of those, like I think it was Blade #1 I got from that shop, and the other ones are Detective Comics 373, First Mr. Freeze, Marvel Spotlight 28, First Solo Moon Knight story, Blue Beetle #1, Forever People. That's just a few of the ones that I got in that first pull from there that we worked out, which I thought was well worth it. So there are more short boxes to go through, and I'll show them on upcoming videos. But that was just the basement that I just showed here. So upcoming videos will have those short boxes full of, I think there's an Ultimate Fallout 4 second print there. I don't think any books were over 100, but many of them were 50 to 100, let's say, in that. So I'm hoping that I find something throughout the next couple of weeks of going through that store that's going to be mind-blowing. But as of right now, there are some cool books there, and I'll show them in upcoming videos. But for right now, you got to see the basement, and let me show you what we were able to work out from what I found just in the basement. And the first one that I'm going to show is one of my favorite artists that draws the female figure, and that is Adam Hughes. This is Legionnaire. This is #7, Adam Hughes cover, swimsuit issue. You can see his signature down the bottom there. Not a whole lot of value in this particular book, but it's just cool early work from Adam Hughes. So as you saw in one of my recent videos, I had a bunch of the Who's Who, the DC Who's Who, and they don't have any value, but some of them have Dave Stevens work in there, and some of them have McFarlane work. So it's always great to grab early work from your favorite artists, and may not be worth a ton, but it's good to see their progression. So I was happy to grab that one. These next 3 are just beat to all living hell, but I don't care because these are for the Marvel Series 3 contest. Ant-Man. First, Scott Lang is Ant-Man. This one may be not a point. It depends on if we go by the first Scott Lang or we go on what the card says, or this is the first Scott Lang. We'll see. This might be we might need a referee for this game. So this might be one of those ones. If we're going by what's on the back of the card, I believe it shows Scott Lang, Marvel Premiere 47 for Scott Lang. So I believe this is a point, but we will see. Next one is Fantastic Four number, I think this is 211. This is Terrax, one of the Galactus' Heralds. This is definitely a Marvel Series 3. I had this once before in much better shape and sold it. So I just wanted to get it back, and these were all like 50 cents. And this last one, X-Men, I think this is 211, or excuse me, 120 or 121. I can't remember because it's ripped off here. But this is the first appearance of Alpha Flight or the first cameo of Alpha Flight. Either one works for this particular game, so I'll take it. It's 120, X-Men 120. So this is the first cameo of Alpha Flight. So that is a point. So there's 3 points right there, and for cheap. So I'll take cheap points. Next book, just a cool Batman cover. It's not a Neil Adams, but it is I think it's a Silver Age Batman, little Executioner cover here. Batman swooping in to save the damsel in distress, and you got the Executioner here in the corner. So cool book, number 250, Batman 250. They didn't make a big deal in many cases when it was, issue 100, issue 200, but like $250, $350. They didn't make a big deal about them back then as they do now. So I thought this would have been a, you know, a little, you'd think for $250 it would have been maybe a milestone book, but it's not. Next two are Transformer books, Transformers 5 and 11. This is just a classic cover with, I believe it's Shockwave on the cover there, smoking gun saying all Transformers are dead. One I saw on the newsstand back in the day at 7-Eleven, and my buddy picked it up, and for some reason I grabbed, I think, Spider-Man instead, and I kind of was trying to trade my buddy for it, and he wouldn't go for it. So that's all right. We got it now, but got that one, and we got the first appearance of Jetfire. This was my favorite Transformer back then. I mean, I liked Optimus Prime, I liked Megatron, I liked Starscream, but Jetfire most resembled Robotech, which I thought was really cool, and I didn't see Robotech toy-wise very much in my circle of friends and at the toy stores there. I'm not sure why, and I didn't see much of the comics, but I saw it on TV, and I thought it was really cool. So Jetfire was the closest thing to Robotech that I had. Voltron also being pretty close to that as well, but I just thought that this was like a Transformer they brought in from Robotech, which was neat. And he doesn't look like it in the picture here, as you can see. It doesn't look like with that F-14. This is kind of a different drawing of him, but this is Jetfire, who ended up being an F-14 as a toy. So I have the toy in the back. He's broken, missing an arm, but I got most of them. So another one here is, I saw it and I thought, I got real excited for a second. Phantom Lady. This is Daring Adventures, number 12. This is from the Silver Age. This is not a Golden Age book. This is just a reprint of some Golden Age stories of Phantom Lady. So not a ton of value here, but definitely a cool book, because getting reprints does cost money, and to have a reprint that's, what, 40 or 50 years old is pretty cool in its own right. So these are just a reprint of the stories. It's not in the best shape, but the inside, the pages are in good shape to read through the story. Next one, another good girl. The best looking DC character there is. All-Star Comics, number 58. This is the first appearance of Power Girl. And this particular antique store had one. The previous owner had one. I was thinking about buying, and it was in worse shape than this one. This one looks to be in pretty good shape. You know, it's a book from the 70s, so it should be in better shape. It's not a Golden Age book or Silver Age book, so it should have, it should have some better, you know, you want to get in a better shape, but for what we had choices from there, I was happy to grab this one over the other one he had in the shop. This one was in the basement. The other one was upstairs on a different level. And I almost bought it, I don't know, a couple times last year and never did. So I'm glad I waited, because this is a much better copy. Not minty, but it's a better copy. Power Girl. And the last one you saw in one of the boxes was Spidey Super Stories. This is a Jaws homage cover here. Those of you that know the movie Jaws, you've seen the VHS that shows the shark trying to eat the woman swimming. You've seen Mad Magazine's take on it. This is Spidey Super Stories' take on it. And in Key Collector, this book doesn't have a ton of value, but if you look on eBay, they are selling for a good bit of money. So I was glad to have that, and for the great price he gave me. As you saw in a different video, I had picked up a different Spidey Super Stories, the first Webman. Those are probably the two top ones. Or excuse me, there's actually 3 top books in that run, and between these two, after these two, the other one is Spidey Super Stories number 39, which is a Thanos appearance, and it's the first appearance of Thanos' helicopter, which makes absolutely no sense that Thanos would need a helicopter, but it's kind of a comical thing, and I think that's why that book has value. So, but yeah, tell me what you think. Did I find some decent ones? Did I pick out some good ones from what you saw there in the boxes? If you think there's something better I should grab, let me know in the comments, because I can go back, because he is basically not selling any of these comics yet until, you know, all the ones that I found in the basement and throughout we put in a room, and they're not being sold yet. The rest of the comics that are in the antique shop on the, you know, other floors, not the basement, those are still for sale, so people do come in and buy those, but I've been through those enough times prior to this guy buying it that I don't think there's anything in there to grab. The boxes of stuff I found that's in that room are probably the better items to have. So tell me what you think. If I missed something, let me know. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next unboxing, the next interview, or the next show off video. Have a great day. Peace.